right, good evening, everybody. Have a good look at you all. Welcome to DuePoint. My name is Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here. And good evening to everyone who's tuned in around the country on our live stream. The camera's not looking at me, so I'm a bit worried. Jane, why is the camera not looking at me? Nonetheless, if you are on the live stream, we have a host of people sitting behind the live stream. So introduce yourself, have a chat on the live stream. You're free to ask questions throughout the presentation. For you, my audience, my live studio audience, I would ask that you reserve your questions until after the presentation. I'm sure someone is hosting you this evening. Go speak to them after the presentation if you have any questions. And then this evening is an exciting format. This is a format that we do only once a month, and it's called Tunnel Tuesday, where we have the privilege of inviting real people doing this business up onto stage to share their testimony with us, because testimony is powerful. Why? Because it's truth. Testimony is truth, right? We get to share in the experience of people doing this business. We get to resonate with how they're feeling, what they're going through, their aspirations, where they are in this business, and what they're hoping that this business will do for them. And so testimony is always very powerful, and it is the one evening of the month that I really enjoy. And so we've got a few people lined up for you this evening. And kindly, we have one gentleman who's all the way up from George, so thank you for all that traveling. All right, so let's begin our presentation. It depends how much our guests want to speak this evening, but typically our intro presentation is only about 35 minutes, and then with testimonies, we should be done in under an hour. All right, so let's begin. DuePoint is a division of another company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. Constantia is a registered insurance company. We have been in business for almost 70 years now, and you might now be thinking, well, why have I never heard of Constantia before? Because Constantia has never dealt with consumers before. We are consumers. Constantia has never dealt with us before. They've only worked typically with other financial services businesses. They've done a lot of underwriting and product design for other financial businesses. But for the first time through DuePoint, do we now direct our efforts towards the public. And that's what we're going to be going through now. A couple of years ago, 3.5 years ago to be exact, DuePoint was formed when a number of factors came together for the founders of this business. Aspirations that we had. This will give you context to the relevance of our business, because you probably right now don't know anything about DuePoint. And so the context is very important, because it'll give you an understanding of our vision for the business and whether that aligns with what you want out of this business or not. So number one, economic and risk factors. This is mostly from your point of view. We wanted to create a business, or at least run a business, that had a positive impact in the community and the country that we worked in. Isn't that important? Probably more so today than ever, right? To be part of the solution in this country instead of the problem. And so what we did was we designed a business around social entrepreneurship. We built a business that relies on community, that includes community, so that we can have a positive financial impact on the people that decide to partner in this business. This presentation is an invitation. It's an invitation. It's a business proposal, a proposition. And hopefully you'll get enough information out of this presentation this evening to make an informed decision at the end of this presentation. You'll see there'll be a big decision slide that comes up towards the end. And so what does our mandate become? What do we expect from each other in this partnership? Our primary goal is to create a successful business in South Africa. One where you get to help us grow our brand, grow our business successfully throughout South Africa and perhaps beyond the borders even. And if we can collaborate successfully together, if you can help us create what we call a channel of distribution, right? Every company needs one of these to operate. If you can help us create this channel of distribution, then you get to share in all the benefits that we promise you in the DuePoint system. And we're going to go through these benefits, because this is going to help you become discerning to what is a good business opportunity and what is not such a good business opportunity. I imagine that many of you have been involved in other businesses, and perhaps you're looking at other business opportunities. DuePoint's just one on the list that you might be looking at. But I think that once we go through just this benefit slide, you'll be able to make an informed decision, because I know that DuePoint is the greatest business opportunity that exists in South Africa today. Right? And that is my invitation. So, what are the benefits? Primarily, you get to create additional income. That's exactly the reason why you're here this evening, is it not? I usually ask the audience the question, why are you here this evening? I know there's only one reason, exactly. There's only one reason people come to Bryanston or turn on their YouTube stream to watch this presentation, and that is income, right? It's born out of necessity. We are looking for something extra because we have to. Because the economy is not serving us the way we wish it was. Our jobs aren't doing enough for us that there is no risk out there. Unfortunately, there's lots of risk, and this business is designed to mitigate, to get rid of a lot of that risk. And yes, we create additional income for you. The nature of the income is important to understand because we create something called recurring income. One of the inherent benefits of insurance companies, or at least the benefit that you get to share in by joining this insurance company, is that you get to share in our ability to create recurring income or annuity income, passive income. It's all similar stuff. It's the ability to make money while you're sleeping. People don't understand what that is because we've never done it before. Who makes money while they're sleeping at work? If you are sleeping during your lunch break, that doesn't count. My father said to me, get involved in business that pays you while you're sleeping. He was talking about recurring income. He was talking about freeing myself of the constraint of being tied to activity-based income. I know this all too well because why? I ran a design agency, an ad agency for 15 years of my life. I was very much tied to the constraint of creating income only through activity. I never made income when I was sleeping. Is that not the same for all of us? Do we not all have to work our 8 hours a day for the month, right? 40 hours a week for the full month before we get paid a salary. If you're not working, you're not earning. If anything threatens your ability to work, maybe you are in a car accident. Maybe your health deteriorates that you can't work. Maybe your industry starts suffering and you get retrenched. Maybe you get close to 65 and you retire. All those things that happen to so many of us, right, that we're all at risk of, all of that stuff threatens your ability to work. It threatens your ability to create income. It threatens your livelihood. And so the privilege of being able to create recurring income frees you of that, because here at DuePoint, we don't pay you for activity. We pay you for the channel of distribution that you build here at DuePoint, right? I'm going to expand on this when we talk about the power of building an asset that you have ownership over. And then the power of duplication and the technology that we've invested in. These are two wonderful benefits because you get to enjoy the technology that we've afforded every single one of our wealth engineers in this business. This allows you to create your channels of distribution. This allows you to do business at DuePoint faster, easier, simpler. It is going to be demonstrated so well when we invite Philip up onto stage because he has leveraged technology probably more than any of the wealth engineers in our business, right? He's going to demonstrate that for us a little bit later. And then the power of duplication, the ability to go out and build a team around you that can help you build a channel of distribution. Always make that comparison. Would you want to be a salesperson in a great organization, or would you rather be the national sales director in the organization? Which one? The director, of course. Why? Not because you get paid more, because you have more leverage. If the sales director wants to make more money, he just gets more salespeople. If you're a salesperson on your own, you don't have anyone to leverage. You're one-to-one. Your time, your 8 hours a day is the most that you can do to build your business. And so we allow you the leverage to go out and build a team around you that can make your business grow exponentially. And if your business grows exponentially, it means your income grows exponentially. There's no startup capital. We've designed this business to have very little risk involved. Remember, our aspiration, when we started the business, the aspiration was to create social impact. Social impact for community, for everybody in South Africa, not the privileged few. And so we designed a business opportunity that has very little risk attached to it so that you can join this business or consider joining the business without any fear. I don't want you to sit there thinking, oh, this sounds like a great business opportunity, but I'm going to have to go have a meeting with my spouse tonight because this is a massive commitment. There's a lot that we're putting on the line. No, I want you to be able to join this business without, even if you are skeptical, but without any fear, because there's nothing to lose if you join the business, even if you join and fail, right? And so that's very important for us. At the same time, we try and make this business as accessible as possible. There are no qualification requirements. There's no experience requirements. Again, those are the things that we need for our jobs, right? Your job will dictate to you. This is how much you can earn. If you're this educated and you're this experienced, that's what you can expect. Don't expect more. If you want to expect more, go educate yourself some more. Go get more experience. In this business, we're saying, no, we don't have those requirements. You can have as much as you want. We just require your commitment and your time in this business, right? And then to build an asset that you have ownership over, your channel of distribution that you help build here at DuePoint, you become a stakeholder in this business. You own your channel of distribution. You have legal tender, right? That sounds like legalese. Sounds impressive. I have legal tender over my channel of distribution. It means you have ownership over your channel that you've built. You're building something you own. Is that not valuable? You can sell it. It means you can sell it. Have you ever tried to sell your day job? You can't, can you? Who gets dividend checks from their company that they work for? Who's got shares? Who's got equity in the business? Who knows that they can't retrench me because I'm an owner in the business? Who knows that their business is going to carry on paying them once they're retired? No, 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 and no. Those are the benefits that entrepreneurs get to enjoy. That's why entrepreneurship is so powerful, so attractive, because you get to share in the upside of business. And it's the same at DuePoint. If you can build a channel that has value, you can sell it. It will never retrench you. It is not going to retire you when you get to 60 or 65. That should frighten people. If you're depending on your day job to get to retirement, you should be scared. Why? Because 95% of our population is going to retire financially dependent. Dependent on what? You're going to become dependent on your children, on family, on friends. You're going to have to go look for another job, right? Statistically, that's going to happen to 95% of us. And so my point is, we have to start sacrificing time to start building something that we have ownership over, to build something that I own, that will never retrench me, that will never retire me, will pay me through my 60s, through my 70s, through my 80s, that I can cede to my spouse, to my children once I die. I get to build legacy in this business. My hope is that when I say that to you, you go, I can make a long-term commitment to this business. I can feel a little more confident in committing time to this business because I know I'm building something I have ownership over. And then absolutely, finally, we've got no selling involved in this business. Who thought when they were introduced to this business or told about this business, they were going to be asked to sell something? You're going to all put your hands up because every single one of you thought that at the outset. Right? Of course. What do you mean? What are we going to be doing in this business if we're not selling anything? You're just going to build a channel of distribution. How do you build a channel of distribution? You go out and tell people about DuePoint. I will do the rest of the work. Brendan will do the rest of the work. Our technology will do the rest of the work for you. Your job is not to convince people to join DuePoint. Your job is just to go out and tell them that the opportunity of business exists and it's called DuePoint. That's all you have to do, right? At the same time, our products that we have at DuePoint that I'll tell you about later in the presentation are financial products. They are intangible. Why is this a positive thing? Who's ever been in business that involves boxes? Boxes in your boot, boxes in your bags, boxes in the garage at home, boxes with expiry dates, right? We don't have any of that. We make this business very convenient to operate in because we don't have boxes. We have got IT systems, beautiful, seamless IT systems that take care of all that stock and distribution of our products in the cloud, and you never have to bat an eyelid, exert any effort over our products. And so it becomes very convenient to conduct business. But your success is dependent on your ability to build the channel of distribution. He keeps saying channel of distribution. I don't know what he's talking about. Thankfully, he's going to show me what it looks like. Right? It begins with you. You need to take that step of faith, that first step that says, yes, I want to be a wealth engineer. I want to join this business to DuePoint. I want to create a channel of distribution. You become a wealth engineer and a product owner, and now your mandate is to go out and start connecting people to this business. In this little example, we've got 5 people that you've connected to DuePoint. Just 5. This is leverage demonstrated. This is the power duplication happening because those 5 people that you connected to DuePoint also became wealth engineers. Why did they become wealth engineers? For the same reason you became a wealth engineer. And they go out and start telling other people about DuePoint. And when we start connecting people successfully into the business, and they will join. If you bring people to this presentation or show it to them over the YouTube or over our app, they will join. They will join. And that is where the power duplication starts to take place. Your effort was to put in 5 people. Those 5 people have turned into 300, 400 people. How does that happen? Power of duplication. This is the channel you own. Every single dot you see on the screen is a product-owning wealth engineer at DuePoint that's affording you income every single month. What happens next month when you decide you're not doing DuePoint anymore? You're tired, you're going to the beach, you don't tell anyone about DuePoint, and you sit on the beach and do nothing. Is DuePoint going to pay you next month? I'm always looking for the person that says, no, why would you pay me? Then I can shout out, yes, we do pay you. Why? Because we don't pay you for activity. We pay you for the channel that you build. You can be in a position one day where you can take 3 months off and lie on the beach for 3 months and DuePoint will still pay you every single month. Why? Because you've built business. You're not an employee. You have built business for yourself, and that is the upside of being in business. That you get to share in recurring income every single month, right? How do we pay our wealth engineers? We pay our wealth engineers a base fee of R27.50 for every product that you have in your channel, right? When you go out and start connecting people to DuePoint, we call that your first point. Anyone you connect personally to DuePoint is your first point. And on your first point, we actually pay you double the R27.50. So we pay you R55 for every product on your first point. If you went out this week and connected 10 people successfully into DuePoint, suddenly you're earning R550. Right? Extrapolated over a year, that's 6,000 Rand a year you've made for yourself. Without selling. With absolutely no selling. When those people go out and start connecting other people, we call that your second point. And you can see on the table, on your second point, we pay you 55 Rand again. If you had 100 people on your first and second point, how much are you earning now? 5,500 Rand a month. 60,000 Rand a year in annuity income. And so on and so forth. Your channel keeps growing. People keep telling people about DuePoint. People keep joining DuePoint. Your channel grows all the way out to the 8th point. You see, the further the product gets away from you, then multiply starts to reduce. But it doesn't stop. You can see, you think it stops at point 8, but there's a little plus sign next to the 8. That tells you that we don't limit the size of your channel at DuePoint. There's no limitation to how much money you can earn at DuePoint. Think about that. So now you're telling me I own the channel that I'm building, and you're not going to place any limit on how much money I can earn at DuePoint? I'm hoping those two things make you realize, well, maybe I can commit to this business long term, because our aspiration as founders of this business is to create long-term relationships with the people that join this business. We feel like we fail every time a wealth engineer walks away from this business. They've been in for 1 month, or for 3 months, or for 1 year, some even 3 years. Right? Statistically, that will happen. But I am focused on the people that are here to stay, because that's where I know we're going to make the greatest difference. When people can commit a lifetime to this business. You will see people come up onto stage this evening that are making massive impact in the space of months. What can they do in 40 years? I want you to ask yourself, when someone comes up onto the stage this evening, I want you to ask the question, what is that person going to be doing in 25 years or 30 years? Where will they be in this business if they carry on the way they're going? That's my aspiration for everybody that joins DuePoint. People still want to understand, well, how much effort is really required and how much money can I really make in this business? I need a sense of what effort and time is involved in this business. And so we built a 5-year projection. It's a 5-year plan. I'm going to go through the plan quickly. It is based on a moderate activity level of connecting 2 people a month, just 2 a month. Right? That's almost like the minimum. I wouldn't go anything under 2 a month, but we start at 2 a month. If you can connect 2 new people to your DuePoint channel on your first point every single month, after 6 months, you're going to be around 2,500 Rand in your DuePoint return. That's the income you can generate for yourself in the space of 6 months. You'll be sitting at 2,500 Rand. Now, for me, 2,500 Rand is not a lot of money. Maybe because I've got an expensive shopping list. I don't know. But what can 2,500 rand buy you today? What can it buy you? Right? Not that much. So is it worth 6 months of work? You're nodding, saying, yes, it is, but I know, no, it's not. It's not, right? But what I understood in myself, the flaw that I found in myself was I keep linking money to its spending value, to consumerism. What can I buy with 2,500 rand? Is that the value of money? Is what I can buy with it? Or can I leverage the 2,500 rand to create wealth for myself? I can turn the 2,500 rand into nearly R1,000,000 rand over 11 years. But the trick is you can't spend it. If you spend it, you create nothing. If you want to create more money out the 2,500 rand, start getting rid of your debt. See at the top there, reduce a 1,000,000 rand bond to 11.5 years. A bond that'll take you 20 years to pay off at 11,500 rand a month. That extra 2,500 rand that you put into your bond will reduce that bond by nearly half the time. It saves you 900,000 rand in interest. Who's got debt? Don't all put your hands up. I know you're all indebted. We're all indebted. The whole country is indebted. Even if you don't think you have debt, you still have debt because the government's got debt and the government's debt is our debt. Right? They worked it out the other day. They told us what the national debt is. The national debt works out to something like, what was it? 250, 300,000 rand for every human being in South Africa. Get rid of your debt. It empowers you. The first step to wealth is getting rid of your debt. Can you be wealthy if you owe other people money? No, I don't think so either. Right? Get rid of your debt. DuePoint hopes to afford you that leverage to get rid of your debt as quickly as possible. After 12 months, you're earning nearly 9,000 rand a month. See how quickly that jumped? After 2 years, you can be close to 27, 28,000 rand. After 3 years of connecting 2 new people onto your first point every single month, at 36 months, you're close to 46,000 rand. After 4 years, you're going to be close to 70,000 rand. After 5 years, you're going to be close to 85,000 rand per month. That's 1,000,000 rand in additional income that you make for yourself every year. I know none of you believe me. I'm hoping you're going to believe the people who come up to give their testimonies of what's possible in this business. Because I know this is just academic. Right? That's why tonight is such a special evening, because we get to share in real life, real experiences of people doing this business. And so, the first individual coming up is Michael Mokgobe. He's a Johannesburg resident, fellow resident. He's been in our business for 18 months, and we're going to look at his numbers shortly. Michael, come join me up on stage. Yes, there you go, sir. Take a step forward so we're in the bright lights. All right, so 18 months in, channel value is sitting at just over 9,000 rand for September so far. Channel size of 244 people in his channel. Look at how much work he's done. He's put 63 people in himself. Do you see the leverage? He didn't put 240 in, he put in 63. The 63 went out and helped him create a channel of over 240 people over 6 points already in the space of 18 months, affording him a monthly return of over 9,000 rand a month. Do you see the leverage demonstrated? So Michael, tell us your story from the beginning. From the beginning, someone came to you, someone full of confidence came to you and said, Michael, I've got something that you need. And they mentioned the word DuePoint. So explain to us how you heard of DuePoint, what you thought of it at the beginning. Were you offended that someone dare come tell you how to conduct your life from a financial perspective? Tell us the story of how you got connected into DuePoint.
Good evening, everyone. DuePoint, thank you for the opportunity. And just to take you back, how did I get to know DuePoint? Like Rob said now, is that we always been involved in different networking, and I was one of those also was involved also in the networking. And then it happened that one of the person that I was going to sell a product to told me about DuePoint, and I was a little bit stubborn actually to really, why is he telling me about this business when I'm bringing the business to him? And but just to cut the story short, is that he gave me the link, and instead of him selling something to me, he gave me the link. And then he said, there will be a presentation. If you don't mind, just go through this link and watch the link. And then I said, no, this guy, instead of, I'm bringing the product to him, he's showing me the link. And then he said, no, tomorrow, if you can, please just watch it. I think it was on Friday, if I remember very well, the day he gave it to me.
So there was a link to the live stream
exactly
on Friday lunchtime.
Exactly,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
And did I go and watch it? I didn't. And because of course I was selling, I thought, instead of him buying to me, he's telling me about the other business. But, on Saturday, instead of me again watching it, he called me in. He said, no, did you have an opportunity to watch it yesterday? I said, no. He said, no, we'll be live soon. If you don't mind, please just watch it. And then I said, okay, it's not a problem. I just clicked the link. Obviously, we're not used to that technology. The person just send you a link. You have to, it's live. What do you mean live? I just click, and then there, I think it was Rob who was presenting on that day. And 5 minutes, I said, no, this guy is wasting time. And then I switch it off.
You got impatient with me.
Yeah. Luckily, there was a project actually that I was doing at work, and then I took, it's like this thing of taking work home, and I happened to have taken my work home, and I did not finish up, and then I said, you know what I'll do? Early in the Monday, and then I've arrived early at work. I think it was 2 hours before my time, because I told myself at least I'll borrow 2 hours for free at work, just to watch this thing. Obviously, they were telling me about data issue, and then I didn't have a data then, but I was in the network business. Just imagine, we're saying we're in the network business, but we don't even have the money to buy data. And luckily, I think I had an opportunity to watch the presentation from Friday and Saturday. And I think it was also the workshop development on that day. And then I had an opportunity, I think it gave me the time to understand the concept of DuePoint. And to be very honest, I was very blown out. And when they told me, I was really a bit confused actually about this 27 rand, 55 rand. Is he saying that this is what I'm going to get paid? And I was telling him about 1,000 because he just bought something that I think was about 1,700. And then he's telling me that I need to go and work for 55 rand. And then I said, no. But anyway, I gave it a try. And luckily, my upline, I didn't tell him that I was about to register. This thing of pride. I didn't tell him that I was about to register. And then when I logged in on the system, unfortunately, it required me to put a wealth engineer number. And then I did not have any choice. I had to go and phone him now. Man, this thing required, but I'll register only next week. He said, no, it's not a problem. Because of this technology, he didn't know. I sign up. Within 1 minute, he called me. He said, congrats. What? Congrats, for what now? He said, no, I've noticed you have signed in. And that was how I started in the business. And
so what caught you in when you watched those presentations in the workshop? What convinced you that this was a business you wanted to be part of?
I think it has always been the path and the 5-year path.
Okay,
And
5-year plan,
exactly. To be very honest, when they tell you that you started with 2,500 and then you get crazy about 100,000, of course, when you started, you seem like this 100,000 is something that you can achieve.
Yeah.
Like tomorrow, unfortunately. But I think one thing that catch my eyes, obviously, it was the 5-year plan. I was very convinced. It seems like the company want to be part of us for the next 5 years, unless you decide to quit. And then number 2, it was obvious, to be very honest, the Mauritius trip. And that always catch the eyes. I want to go to Mauritius. How many of us have had an opportunity to go to Mauritius? And this one also had an opportunity for me. And luckily, after I've signed up, I think it was going to be tell-all Tuesday. And then he said, no, man, if you are free, I'm available. I'm going to Joburg. I can take you along. Just go and watch the presentation. You know what? When I came here for the first time that you visit the head office of the business that you work for, it never happened before, but now this time around it happened. The guy took me, brought me here. The welcome that I've received from, I will never even lie, the warm welcome that I've received from Pat and Pume on that day, it's something that I will never forget. And, sometimes when the person says something, your words is like he's prophesizing you. Immediately when we're in the room meeting there, Pat said to me, he said, you know what, I can tell you're going to make it in this business. And, that one word always stayed with me. It's something that has always encouraged me. And then he said, you know what, or even on that day, he brought the car. He said, you saw the talk about the car outside here. I'm the one who's the person who drove that car. You must go and watch that and see the car outside. And, to be very honest now, you can start to see that this business is for real. Yeah. It was not something like the one that we fake. Of course, we're faking outside, to be very honest. But now this time around, it was not a fake. It was really business, talking to the real people, which I think is one thing that really convinced me. Of course, yes, when you start, you're still using your old system of the marketing of other companies. And to be very honest, my 3 months, it went boom.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, your 18 months, because on day one you said, I'm going to Mauritius, I'm going to get all the money, 100,000 Rand. What has the 18 months felt like for you?
I think the figure tells itself, Rob. 9,000 in an 18 months. It has not been very easy. I think DuePoint, it's easy business. Or sometimes it's simple when I say it's not easy business. Why? Because there is a work to be done. We don't just talk to the people. There is a lot of work to be done, especially when you talk about 244 people. It's not me, it's a team. And then that means your channel, the people that you need to talk to, I think these are the most critical people in this business. If you are not engaging your team, obvious you lose the contact with them, and then the business collapse. And I've been there also. And there was a time, I think November last year, when I was on stage here, I think I was promising coming very well, and then come January, February, the business, boom, went down. But because I understand my why I was doing this business, and it was not about somebody else, I think it reminded me exactly why I joined DuePoint. And I kept saying that, if people who are doing successful in this business, they've remained in this business for so long, why will I quit? Then I have to just to carry on. And then also, to me, it did not matter whether now I've dropped into 200 or 500 that you were earning. At the end of the day, it was what is called an extra income that the business of DuePoint was paying for me, because no one was giving me that money. So it was an extra. Unfortunately, people didn't really understand the value of that. It's either it's 200 or 500. There's an extra cash that is coming from somewhere else. If you multiply that money by the month that you'll be earning every day, at the end of the day, you've got close to about 2,400 from nowhere. Somehow, people, they don't even work for overtime. You work strictly your 40 hours. That means you only pay, as Rob was saying now, there is no increase. It will stuck. If it's 5,000, it's 5,000 for the whole year. So at least there is a bit, 5,700 because of the 200 that is coming from DuePoint. So I think that has really made me stick to DuePoint, regardless whether the business went down or not. And then I think it's one of the reasons that I've remained here. And then one thing also, to be very honest again, the system that is available with this business, to be honestly. And, I'm also, like as I've said last week, is that I've been in touch when you say the company is spending almost about 50,000 every month for this technology.
Just on the hosting.
Exactly. And then we don't really understand value. So our job, as it's so simple as it is only one thing, just to go tell people, share information about DuePoint, and the DuePoint will do the rest for us. And then from there, obvious, I had to go, especially when the channel went down. I think you do one thing, what is called introspection. You introspect yourself. Introspection myself of saying, what have I done wrong of me that I could have kept these people that decided? Of course, yes, probably they didn't catch a vision, or because you're not directly involved with your team. And then that's one of the reasons. Either one of the person who was doing very well in the business misled most of the downliners, and then that's one of the reasons that they end up quitting the business, because they could not see the result. Then it was at the end of the day that, I think, like as they will say, DuePoint, that your first pointer and a second pointer, those are the most critical people that you need to engage yourself. So it was now to change the whole strategy to make sure that I interact with my team so that they can able to understand the reason why they have to do the DuePoint and then why the DuePoint cannot fail us. So those things are the things that have really made me to be where I am today. And then also watching the development seminar I think that's one of the main things that boosted me. And you change your attitude also, or the way we call them depths.
Mm.
Call them depths. The way they have the impact in most of us. And the message, is it the message that still need to be heard?
Yeah, message that demands to be heard.
I think I'm still even encourage most of the people just to go and watch that depths. It's one of the most very powerful to me. It's one of the most that talk to me, because when Brandon unpacked the whole system, you can able to really understand where we are in the country, and then what we need to do as a citizen of this DuePoint going forward. I think that's something that has worked for me. I really say, even if my team, everyone who's watching, and I've got one lady from Limpopo, just came from Limpopo. She's one of the top in Limpopo currently now. And for the first time, she's here today, Lefa. Very much blessing. And of course, yes, she needed support. It's not going to be very easy. She can sign as much as 40 people. If they're not catch up the vision, they'll lose the business. But at the end of the day, it is our responsibility from the upliner side to give her the support, so that at least she can able to take this information and take it back to the team, so that people can really understand. Because the confusion is still there. People still believe that we are selling something.
Yeah.
Of course, yes, there's still that comparison. If we are not selling, then what are we doing? But I think we are just missing that point, that our only duty, it also goes back to, I think, Omdani, what was saying the other day, when he said, the DuePoint is so simple in such a way that we only just allow DuePoint to do a business for us. All we do is just to connect people to the DuePoint, and they'll do it. Unfortunately, it's something that people tend to lose it, because they do, South African, I don't know, it's because we are impatient of getting into details about the business, but maybe it's because of all the scams that have came in, nobody able to understand or to differentiate between something that is legit and not legit. But at the end of the day, it's our responsibility. With the technology that we use with DuePoint, we have that liberty to make sure that we go back and plant a good seed, so that we cannot compare this business with other businesses. I think it's something that has worked for me. Besides that, I think, yes, with the team, with the technology, with the staff, which company can you just phone? I've always calculated my time when I phoned here. It's within the 30 seconds, you'll receive a response from, when you call, because somehow people don't tell, I don't even have airtime to call. But, if you listen, look at the structure of DuePoint, it's so simple in such a way, it even takes you 30 seconds before they can respond to your call. And that really simply say that the technology, even the staff, the way that it has been so equipped, it's so wonderful. So I don't think we'll go wrong with this business. It's only for us if we decide to quit.
Good. So what are your aspirations in the business? You're at 9,000 Rand after 18 months. What does 18 years in the business look like for you? Have you thought that far ahead?
I think there's still 60 months to go. It is still early. Anything can happen within those 18 months. But I think it does encourage. I think one thing that is very important for me is just to try to push the ranks now. And, I shouldn't only just be proud about the money or the figure of the value channel. What very important, the system that DuePoint has. I think if I can just try to up my ranks. Because at the end of the day, the ultimate goal of going to Mauritius is not about rent. You can be any. You
really want to get to Mauritius.
Exactly. Yeah, of
we'll
course,
talk about that.
Last year I thought it was simple. Like as I said, I thought it was simple. You just say it in front of you. Yes, I'm going to Mauritius. But when you go to the field, it's not as simple as is it. And particular for me, I almost work about 10 hours every day, and which is not easier. That means I'm not doing this business for full time. Yeah. I'm doing on a part time. So those extra 2 hours and 3 hours that you have to add, I think it's what has contributed to that value. So meaning that, for those who are working this business for full time, I think they should be saying, 9,000 is good for them. But as for us, most of us, we still have that advantage, or lucky because we are still employed. And then that gives us what advantage. But if this is what I'm taking home, and then based on top of what I'm taking, I think it's something that may differ. We all need to really understand, because at the end of the day, DuePoint say that this is an extra income that I'm getting. outside or beside the pay that I'm getting from at work. Then looking at 60 months to go, Rob, of course, like as I've said, if I can just try to push the ranks and, come probably next year, first quarter.
Mauritius 2020.
My goal,
Is that what
yes.
you're saying?
My goal, yes. Mauritius.
I'm writing it down, eh?
No. Mauritius is 2021 for me.
Okay,
Yeah.
2021.
Yeah, 2021. Okay. But if anything's 10, otherwise, I think it will be a blessing, but it needs an effort. If I say I want to go to Mauritius 2020, it is possible. It's just a question of attitude. If you just change that attitude, exactly, it is possible that I can still go. But I think even though I don't believe in a long term, all I'm simply saying, my projection is that in 2021, probably, yes, I can go to Mauritius. And one thing that will inspire me in the next, probably in the next 6 months, is just to make sure, like as Danny will always say, that if you try to make sure that at least your channel start getting income, I think that will be a blessing for me. Because there's no need for me to say I'm earning, but while your channel is not earning.
No, your channel has to earn,
And once you can make sure that at least your channel start earning, I think it will duplicate. Then you can start now planning your rank. Once I can start doing that, making sure at least 5 or 10, my goal was just to make sure that at least if I can start with 5, and in the next coming months, 2 months to 3 months, at least 10 people in my channel are on full income, earning incomes. I think it will make me to make sure that at least I'm one of the person who's trying to duplicate, because the only way to duplicate this business is when your channel start also earning.
Exactly. You're there to help people.
Exactly. At the end of the day is that. So I'm looking on that, that in the next 6 months, but the 60 months is too long.
Good. Well, I'm excited for the day that you go rank 9, sir.
Yeah.
And you will be up on the stage again.
Yeah. I'm looking probably maybe next year I might come here twice.
Maybe. I wrote down 2021, so you got more time than I think you need.
Yeah. Next year, watch the space. Next year I might be here twice. This is what I projected. That probably, I think, when you have a goal, it's easier. Because even this year I did have, but probably I said, no, maybe I'll be here maybe in November again like last year. So it came earlier. Or I think I understand that probably in the next coming 2 months, the number might be add. I'm marketing myself here. So the number will add, of course, the advantage. And then I'm also even at least Pretty is here. Probably Pretty, she's the one who's building the team in Limpopo. So obvious, at the end of the day, is just to make sure at least in the next coming 4 months, I mentor her so that at least she also be on the stage. Once you do that, at least people are able to see this business is working.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Awesome, my friend. Thank you for your time and all your effort. You're going to see why everyone gets excited over our Mauritius trip very shortly. Because we have an XP rewards program on top of the returns that we pay our wealth engineers at the end of every single month. So this is the benefit that Michael was talking about, this aspiration to get his ranks up, right? And I think you'll probably be going rank 3 this month. So only 6 more to go. One of the first notable ranks is at rank 5. We give you this business pack to help you look professional when you go out prospecting. First impressions count for a lot. Rank 7, we take that a step further. We get business cards manufactured for you. They cost us 17,000 Rand for one set of business cards. And then finally at rank 9, we get to send you an invitation. You and your family get to join us on our rank 9 international conference, where we go away on business class flights. It is 7 days away. It's a 5-star luxury resort that we get to spend time together at with your family without any expense to yourself. 0 expense. We're adamant about it being 0 expense. We make sure that the car picks you up in your driveway. You can be in your Speedo, your bikini, your passport in here on the side. That's all you need. That's all you need. So take a look at our Rank 9 International Conference. And this is an invitation to you all, to every single one of us. And you get to join us every single year. This is not a once-off. Think about it, every single year for the rest of your life. So by rank 9, thank you, Michael. So by rank 9, you're earning about 20,000 Rand a month. 2 ranks later, at rank 11, we spend R250,000 buying you a brand new car. A brand new car. We pay for it cash. It is placed in your name. You get to drive it off our parking lot with a little bit of fanfare and celebration. You get to park that car in your garage that night, knowing that there's no debit order at the end of the month. That's when you get to sleep well, right? When you have one less debit order. And hopefully you are a whole bunch of steps closer to becoming this wealthy person that you imagined, that you joined this business for. So this is our rewards program. This is a snippet into the rewards program. We're only showing you up to rank 11. The rewards program goes up to rank 28. 28. This is the baby car in the rewards program. It's the cheap holiday in the rewards program. Do you believe that? Yes. No, you're lying to me. You all think you're rich by the time you go on the rank 9 trip. There's so much more for you in this business if you're able to commit to it long term. Right? And with that, we have a wonderful gentleman, Mr. Philip Fourie, coming up onto stage. He's all the way from George. There you go, sir. Joined the business 7 months ago. What can you know about DuePoint in 7 months? I think Philip's going to tell us a couple of things. So let's take a look at your numbers. 19, almost 20,000 Rand channel value this month for September. It's put in 105 people in the space of those 6-7 months. And that is translated to nearly 500 people. Do you see the leverage? For every one person he put in, there was another 4 people that were going to join his business because of the one person that he connected to this business. Right? That is leverage. That is power of duplication. Over 6 points. So we had the opportunity to have a great discussion this afternoon. Philip, take us right to the start. Again, as I said to Michael, who had the gall to come and tell you about DuePoint? And how did all of that unfold to the point where you were ready to join this business, at least to make that initial commitment, just to becoming a DuePoint wealth engineer? What did that look like? What did it feel like, more importantly?
Thanks, Rob. Hi, good evening, folks. I found myself moving from PE to George in 2017 after having significant personal and financial setbacks, and I went down to George and went and lived on a farm. So, and then had a bit of a setback with an accident, and at the end of 2017, we got to the end of 2018. I was desperately looking for something that I could do because I was remote. It had involved me being able to make contact with people without having to go and see people. So I was looking for something that I could use on social media, and social media being one of the things. And in November, my brother sent me an SMS because he said, I don't deal with those things. And he always knew that I was always interested in network marketing. I always loved the concept. I was one of those people that used to go Google network marketing and go look at people's companies' compensation plans, because I was always fascinated with the whole concept of gearing, and I understood that very well.
The leverage.
Leverage.
Yeah.
That a little cog turning can turn a whole lot of huge amount of cogs. And if I understood that I just have to turn this cog, then all the others turn, then yeah. So I looked and I opened the link, and there was DuePoint, and immediately it got my attention because I'd seen a lot of stuff that weren't such good quality. And immediately what Brennan was saying on the video, and just the whole, the look and feel and the presentation, I thought, okay, hang on, this needs a little bit of investigation. So I looked further into it, but it took me until February the 7th this year to make the decision. But in the meantime, I had other stuff going on. Like I say, I am on a farm, and myself, I help my sister with another business, and I had other little things going on. But what I did was I absolutely binge watched videos, DuePoint videos. And by the time I was ready to make a decision, there was still a couple of things that I needed to know. So the one day I phoned head office, because being interested in compensation plans, I saw this but let me just go back a step. In the previous job that I did, I was required to do quite a bit of due diligence when people applied to sell a product. I was also in the financial services industry. So I knew what was required when you look at the opportunity to do due diligence. And I applied that to DuePoint. And I kind of like, I had a skeptical sort of outlook. I thought, I'm going to catch these guys. They can't be as good as what they initially look like. This is too good to be true, and I really dug. I put you guys through the grinding stone, and the more and more I looked, the more impressed I was selling myself without realizing it. And then eventually I looked at the compensation plan, and I looked and I thought, okay, this is very interesting. I like the fact that you can go very wide on your first point. There's no restriction. They pay 55 Rand, but that's fine. I'm not worried about the 55 Rand. It's a product that I understand. It's an intangible product, which is very, very important. People that are out there selling a physical product, once they get it, those are one of the best people to join network, to get to DuePoint. Once they get the intangible product, they're off and they're running. So I was looking for an intangible product because I was remote as well. And then I looked and I said, there's 8 points or 8 levels that I can make money on. And then I spotted, hang on, there's a little plus next to the 8. And I opened it and said, no, it's infinite. And I got them. This is a scam. I've got them. There's no business that can pay you to infinite levels. It's impossible. I mean, how does it work? It's just and I got the computer out and I was making my sums and it's just nothing added up. So I thought, okay, now I got them. I phoned DuePoint and spoke to one of the ladies. She said, just hold on, I'm going to put you through to somebody. Because at that point as well, I had nobody to join under. And by binge watching and watching all the testimonials, I'd seen Roelof and Marcia. And I'd known them from 2006, 2007 in a previous venture. And not known them well, just one day, Roelof did a presentation that I attended, and I was very impressed. And in that business, Roelof's name came up a lot. So I thought, well, okay, there's somebody that I can join under if I'm going to join. Because at this stage, I was still catching DuePoint, a big scam. And then while I was waiting for the lady to put me through, next moment this voice came on, and I thought, this voice sounds familiar. And it was Brendan. And he said, I can help you. I said, who's that? This is Brendan Benfield. I said, are you the CEO? He said, yeah, can I help you? I thought, okay, well that was me sold, because if I could speak to the CEO as someone who's thinking of joining DuePoint, never mind already a DuePoint member, never mind a top DuePoint person that only with other companies that you've got to be a top guy before the CEO even flip and takes your call. So I was a nobody, and I'm out to catch them. So I was with a querying mind, and that was me sold. And Brendan quickly explained what it was about. Gave me Roelof's number. I got hold of Roelof, phoned him and said, you remember me from a long time. You don't remember me from a long time ago. And when I kind of explained to him where I knew him from, I was amazed. And he said, yeah, no, I remember. And then I joined, and I said to him, look, I've got to do a couple of things before I really get cracking. But I was busy still in that process of formulating my plan and what I was going to do. And I said, just bear with me. But because I'm remote, the only way that I can work is via social media. And Roelof, being the polite gentleman that he was, went, because we've all been taught that social media, if you use it incorrectly, doesn't work. And then I didn't do anything and got rid of the other business that I was busy with. And then on the 25th of May, so that's actually 5 months ago, I really started and I got stuck in. And then I started using social media. And immediately I got a little bit of traction. In the first month I did 18 people. And I didn't know, I had no idea whether it was decent or not, whether other people were doing 100 or 2 or
Yeah.
And then you guys send out the movers and shakers on the 20th of the month, and I saw, okay, well, 18 is not so bad. I'm actually lying third. So I thought, okay, I'm onto something here. And then I went to the PE roadshow, the presentation, and once again met up with Roelof and Marcia again. They kindly came down and got to meet a lot of DuePoint people and spoke to you and Jane and a lot of other people. And I had stagnated with my business. I'd hit a wall, and I didn't quite know what I was doing wrong. And then just chatting to Roelof and Marcia, they said, no, okay, hang on, you must change the way that you're operating. So I rejigged and what I was doing,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just took off. And then the next month I did 23. So that first month I was third. So being the competitive animal that I am, I thought, no, I'm going to chase these people ahead of me. And then I went 23 and I was second, and then the next month I got 34, and then I was first. And then
I love the irony, because when you started out in the business, I remember Brendan getting involved and seeing that you connected all these people, and only about 10% of them paid initially, and then the second month was the same, and then I think Brendan might even have referred to you in one of the training presentations saying, this is how you don't do it. How do you prove someone like Brendan wrong? Because that's what you've done. You've proved him wrong, because I don't think he had any hope in you initially. And you said you ran into a couple of stumbling blocks. What does it take to get to 19,000 Rand a month in 7 months?
Well, when I use, if somebody says to me that you can't do something, it fires me up like you cannot believe.
So red flag to a bull.
I am as stubborn as anything, and I said, no, I will prove you wrong. The first, it was, look, I'd made a very serious decision. It was the best thing that I did. Where people often say, what is the one, and remind me to come back to your question, what is the one, and I get asked it a lot, and you guys refer to it a lot, people will say to you, what is the one thing that I must do in this business to be successful? Just that one thing, that silver bullet. If I just do this one thing, and it's my answer to them, you're asking the wrong question. It's not that. It's what is the one thing I must be?
Yes.
Not what I must do, because you can get the best system in the world, and that one answer to the wrong person with the wrong attitude, and it's not going to work, no matter how good the system is. And to me, the one thing is tenacity. It's my favorite word. Good old Afrikaans, it's vastbyt. If you don't have tenacity in this business, it's not going to work. You got to just stick to. And
so, what does that look like? Because you shared some staggering numbers with me. What does tenacity look like day to day?
Well, the first 10 people that I signed, eight cancelled. So I thought, okay, if ever tenacity is going to come into this, is around about now. But then I looked at it and I thought, but there are 2 people that are still there.
Yeah.
So let me look at the 2 people,
Silver lining.
Then in the next 20 that are in the 20 that I signed, another 5 or 6 dropped off, and those figures kept on getting better and better. So I changed the way I was working on that. And I just want to say thanks to my team out there that are watching. Hopefully, it's been so far, it's such a short journey, and it's been awesome. But there's still a long way to go. And I forgot your question.
Yeah. So what does it take? What does it take to get to 19,000 Rand in 7 months? Everyone wants that, right? You all want that. They all want to know, what's that silver bullet? What's the one thing I need to do?
No, I was very fortunate in that. There's no great answer or great shakes. I just didn't have a choice. I was in a position where I said, okay, I'm 55. My money's running out. There is no income coming in. I need to do something, and I don't have a lot of time, so I don't want to mess around with something that doesn't work. I want to know that and there's nothing I hate more than wasting time on something and wasting energy on something. So I want to invest in something and do something that I know I've got good backing. That's going to be there for me. It's a sustainable business, and you guys tick all those boxes quite admirably. But then the one thing I watched a video online, one of the things, and it just I think I was just in the right frame of mind that day, but it just resonated with me, and it just said, make a decision.
Yeah.
Make a decision, and your decision mustn't just be, okay, I'm going to do it, because we all say that. The decision means that I'm going to make this work no matter what. I'm going to cut any other plan Bs, and okay, if this doesn't work out, then I'm going to try this, or get rid of all that. There is only one thing you're going to do, and that is DuePoint. And once that kind of like settled, and it went from there to here, then when those 8 people cancelled, it was okay. Because I said to myself, I'm going to give myself 3 months, a year, 5 years. And by the second month, I already knew, okay, I don't have to worry about those other milestones. I'm in it.
You're on the road.
So,
and then you mentioned that you had to become someone. Have you changed?
Yeah.
You think who you are, or what motivates you in the last 7 months?
Well, it was very humbling in the start, but from what I keep referring to 5 months. I joined 7 months ago, but I've only been at it for 5 months. And you know what? I had to realize that for the business to be successful, firstly, there were two things that happened. Firstly, I just wanted to. You said, you know what? I've been in network marketing before, and I've seen the reasons that it fails. Is that I've got to rely on other people, you know, and the people disappoint you, and they don't do that. So you know what? I'm just going to write as many first pointers as possible, and I want to earn my 55 rand. And if anyone else builds underneath that, well, that's just the bonus.
Okay.
And that didn't take me long to realize. Okay, I need to adjust my attitude. Because I was
you thought you were going to do it on your own.
No, I was going to do it on my own. Bugger all these other people. And then I realized now I needed to start working with my channel, and and then there was the two ladies from Rudolph's group that asked me to come and help them with some training. So it forced me to put everything that I was doing, but I had enough months under the belt that I could sit down and say, okay, hang on, let me put this into a system that someone can take and go and apply as if they're training other people. And that was very, very beneficial, that I started using that for my first pointers. But I think also another massive leap forward was that I understood it here. And once again, I always say there's phases you go through. You get it intellectually, but then it sinks down and you really get it in your soul. And that's, why do you do this business? And for me, it was, I thought that, obviously I want to earn money because I don't have any. I want more, and I want to be able to retire comfortably. I don't do financial stress very well. I don't think anyone does, but it's like not one of my favorite things. And I thought that was my why. That was what I wanted to do until I helped a young lady in Bloem that was really going through a hard time. She had kind of like lost her job, 2 young kids, and the normal stories that we hear. And she was just, she was actually doing quite well. She was signing people, but she was just so down. And I just did what we would do for anybody that's not feeling lacquer. I just sent her a voice note and said, listen, let me tell you my story. Maybe that will help you. And this is where I come from, and this is what I did, and this is what I did. And she got back to me, and she said, I went from being in a deep dark hole this morning to you have completely changed my horizon. Not just I'm feeling better, okay, thanks for that, and then I go back into the hole again. Yeah. Completely changed my horizon from what you just told me. And I thought, okay, that's it. Now I found the reason why I'm doing this thing. And if I can change, like I said earlier this morning, Rob, if I can change by the end of wherever we end up with this thing, if I can only change and help 5 people make a difference in their lives, then it would have been worth it. Yeah.
That's absolutely awesome, and it's serving you so well. I love that story, to go in with the necessity of trying to change your financial situation for yourself and saying, I'm going to do this on my own, I don't need anyone else. And suddenly it gets flipped and you're like, oh wow, the fulfillment is actually going out and helping other people, and that's where I get the fulfillment from. And that leads to 19,000 Rand after 5 months, not 7 months even. That's awesome. So give us a inkling into your aspirations in this business, even though, and maybe that's changed. Maybe it's not in 5 years I want this much money. Maybe it's I want so many ranked 9s on my first point. What do you want out of this business? When, at the end of the day, when do you go, geez, the 5 years were worth it?
No. Well, I'm not a great one for goal setting. I believe in in developing a process that I can just do every single day and do it day after day and refine it all the time. And that will, I believe, bring me the ranks that I need to go to in the Mauritius trips. But based on just a short little time that I've been involved, I'm looking at of my 5-year plan is 1,800 first pointers, of which after everyone is, after the natural attrition rate and everything, that I want 350 qualified wealth engineers, and then 50 of those must be qualified according to my lofty ideals, which is having 10 people, not 3 like you guys have, with 10.
Okay.
And I don't know where that will take me, but I'm very curious to see where I'm going to end up if I achieve that, because obviously then all the gearing and the
Yes.
for them to end with that.
Look.
But in the end of the day, it's one thing. There was one of the videos that I saw that Brendan did, and he said, the solution to everything in this business is just get more people. Get more people.
Yep.
When those 8 people cancelled, I just said, you know what? There are so many more people out there that don't take us thing. So I just got more people. And every time someone's going giving me problems, I just go get more people and just. It's such a, but
Exactly.
it's such a nice solution, and what takes a tremendous amount of pressure off you in this business. I cannot keep up with the amount of people that are asking me for information. I can't keep up. I can't keep up with following them up. Never mind keep up. So, if I stop doing what I'm doing the way that I get my qualified leads, I'll take another 3 months to run through my book just following up. So that's always I know I get up every day. I mean, I can't imagine the pressure of someone that goes, I've got no one to speak to. No, I don't want to have that problem. I want to always have too many people. That's a nicer problem. I want to have too many people to speak to, and I must just increase that number all the time and just keep adding. If you can't make sausage unless you're putting mince here in the top the whole time. So, and this business allows me to do that. It allows me to always constantly be speaking to people, connecting to them, and it's such an easy business to do. But just generally for people who are deciding whether they want to do this or not, if you decide not to do DuePoint, and please forgive me if I offend anybody, if you decide not to do DuePoint, you've got to seriously question your ability to understand and to perceive what is value out there. Because if you don't see value in this, then you are going to struggle. You're going to struggle with anything else that you try, and you don't perceive the value in what DuePoint can do for you. And I'm not talking about the Mauritius trips and prize. Just the fact that you can utilize other people and through their efforts to earn a substantial income. I mean, my channel grew by 300 people last month, and I only got 43. So the rest, and it's already on 22. I've only got 2 this month. So that's the kind of gearing effect that it has, and it's equivalent of. I remember reading very early on in the journey, work for profit, don't work for a salary. Because a profit will make you rich. The salary will make you a slave. Exactly. So but how do you earn profit? You can go and with gearing in business, if you get 20 people that each work 8 hours for you, you've got 160 hours a day that you are gearing off their efforts. And that example that I'm using is a friend of mine that owns a spa. But it costs 5 million to open a spa. Who's got 5 million to open a spa and to buy all the stock and to get that? This business, you can get there with 0 cost. I mean, I don't mean, maybe data is an expense. I can't think of anything that costs me money.
No, exactly. If you know anything about starting a business, it's expensive.
It is very, very expensive. And your chances, and unfortunately that can sometimes be a disadvantage because it's easy in and easy out.
Exactly.
It's easy to leave. But at least try it, because like you say, there is absolutely no risk. What risk is there? Because the money that you're paying, you're getting cover, and you're getting good cover. Because trust me, I know financial products.
Yeah. You're
getting very, very good cover. And if you decide it's not for you, just cancel your product. Okay? So you would have lost nothing. But the risk that you're taking for the benefit that you can potentially get, I mean, if you are a betting man, you would be flipping laying money here on these odds all day long. I mean, it just makes sense.
Exactly. Well, we are very excited. Who would like to just get a glimpse into where Philip's going to be in 5 years' time? By the way, 1,800 people on his first point is 1 person a day for 5 years. Awesome goals, even though you're not goal-orientated. Thank you, Philip.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, amazing demonstration of leverage. And not only leverage of people, but leverage of technology, right? On a farm in the middle of nowhere, not so much in the middle of nowhere, 15 Ks from the closest town, and still able to build one of the biggest or the fastest growing channels in our business. Absolutely awesome. And as he said, our products are designed with wealth in mind. They're designed to be accessible for everyone in South Africa, right? Because we don't discriminate against your age or your health status with our products. So Access Wealth is our first product. It's an investment and insurance product rolled into one. It's going to cost you only 324 Rand a month. It gives you a tax-free investment fund, which we contribute 100 Rand into every single month. That's the minimum. You can go up to 2,500 Rand a month if you wish. And the insurance portion is 120,000 Rands worth of personal accident death cover. Our second product is Wealth Guard, which is only accidental death cover. It costs you only 249 Rand a month. And it gives you 1 million Rands worth of personal accident death cover. And again, as long as you're over the age of 18, it doesn't matter what your age is over the age of 18. It doesn't matter what your health status is. The price is the same for everybody. It makes this business accessible to everyone. And then we've got Family Wealth, which is our funeral cover product. 299 Rand a month gives you 20,000 Rands worth of funeral cover. It covers up to 5 family members. As a principal member, you get 10,000 Rands worth of debt protection. You can increase this cover up to 30,000 Rand and 10 family members. And again, no excluded pre-existing conditions. You do have to get into this product under the age of 70, but then it becomes whole of life. You can then live to 120 and you'll still be covered by this product. And then finally, we've got Wealth Points. Wealth Points aims to lower your monthly expenditure. We've gone out and partnered with other businesses and negotiated discounts and services with them so that you get to enjoy these discounts. We hope that this product will allow you to lower your monthly expenses. Right? If you can lower your monthly expenses, you can get rid of your debt faster. If you can get rid of your debt faster, you can become wealthier sooner. So this product hopes to get you there faster through Wealth Points. There's all the partners that you see we've listed there. We've got more information on the products on our website, but they are designed to be straightforward. What you see is what you get. These are not complicated products. They're accessible to everyone at the same price. For those people that need money now, right? We all need money now, right? Who wants to wait for money? You can do it through our Achiever Quest. In our Achiever Quest, if you're able to connect 10 people successfully in the same month, that pay in the same month, there's 5,000 Rand on top of your returns that we will pay you. If you do 20 people, we'll give you 10,000 Rand. If you do 30 people, we will give you 15,000 Rand on top of your returns and rewards. Your first month as a wealth engineer, you could be earning 16,500 Rand in your first month, right, through the Achiever Quest. And then to take that further, so this is something Philip aspires to achieving, is our 365 challenge. Why? Because there's 1.4 million Rand in 12 months that you can make in the 365 challenge. Go out and connect a person a day for the first 12 months as a wealth engineer, and you will have 1.4 million Rand in benefit waiting for you in this business. You can make yourself a millionaire in 1 year if you want to. If you want to, not if I want to, if you want to. That's the decision you need to make. And with that, very experienced wealth engineer team, Philip's lead wealth engineers, Marsha and Rulof, come up onto stage, please. And this is a photo we took today. This is a photo that we took today. You can see them sitting. This is the interview we conducted in our studio this afternoon. And I think it's just a wonderful shot of, what's the word? Loving lead wealth engineers. Right? And Philip was talking about this, the fulfillment of being able to help other people. And so I think let's just start off with that briefly. What does it look like to become a lead wealth engineer that helps empower people to create wealth for everybody?
Can you repeat the question? I don't think a lot of people choose to be a leader. It's something that happens. And all of a sudden, when you're in that position, you need to grow. And something that we realized very, very early is that you need to be teachable. And it's not easy because I'm a bull, I'm a Taurus. And you don't teach a Taurus easily. So it's a mind change that we had to go through. And and when we realized that we've got a responsibility, there are people that are looking up to us, and we need to lead. The way that we actually grew into that role was to say, okay, first of all, let us become teachable. Let's lose all those old bad habits and have a look at creating new habits, new healthy habits. And and it's we've got a saying, you can't do it wrong enough or long enough to fail, provided you're teachable. And so that process of becoming teachable, we opened ourselves to new experiences. And when Philip when he told me that he's going to use social media, I knew I had to open up my mind to that. I'm old school, I'm a baby boomer. I want to see the white of the eyes when I talk to them. So I had to grow out of that. And But people like the Phillips, the Darnies, the people that come on our way, each and every time that we're in contact with them, we learn. And a lot of people think that they learn from us. We learn more from the people in our channel than what they learn from us. So yeah, that was the first thing. And it's also important that we need to help them to understand the value chain that we have in DuePoint. And it starts all the way with the company, Constantia. And I mean, when I did my due diligence, the same as Philip there, it took me from February 2016 until September. And then I was satisfied that what we're dealing with is like a good, sound company. And that flows over into DuePoint. And then you look at the people that are actually in control of DuePoint. And you see the Robs and the Brendans and the rest of the Excode team. And you know, the commitment that they have, working 6 days a week. If you can get your channel to understand the kind of commitment that takes, while you're sitting on the beach, etc., they are here on a Saturday morning, not with their kids, not watching soccer, and that's a role that you need to adopt. Is where you need to pitch, and if people see that you add that same value to that value chain, the products are absolutely awesome. And Marsha's got a nice way of saying it. Is that she says that if a person signs up in the business and even do nothing, their family still benefit from those products. They've taken care of their family. So that whole value chain, you need to help your team to understand that what they're busy with is actually life-changing. It's not just like another thing, not just like another, I'm going to try this and see how it works. You're actually changing and touching lives. So yeah, it's the last thing that I want to touch on is that it's so easy to fall into a comfort zone in life. And there was another guy that always said, there's nothing in life like standing still. It doesn't exist. You're either going forward or you're going backwards. And if you're in a comfort zone, that is the most dangerous place to be. That's where network marketers go to die. Because the minute that you're in a comfort zone, nothing happens in your life. You don't grow, you don't learn new things, you're too scared to try new experiences. So when we see people like dropping into that comfort zone where they go like, oh, I'm okay, I don't really need this, etc., we usually try and wake them up. And the easiest way to wake them up is just show them the economy. Usually that's enough to go like, well, wow, maybe I should have another look. But comfort zone, absolute killer. And we, as lead wealth engineers, need to be aware whether you're in the comfort zone or not. And a very wise man once told me, always keep your eye on the rearview mirror. Have a look at the danger coming from behind. So, yeah, that is basically what we like to instill with our engineers in our channel, is that a couple of things, but it's small things, but it makes a major difference.
Mm. Did you want to touch on any more? We spoke earlier about having to change attitude personally towards this business and how that's changed. You said you're open to learning experiences. You even allowed wealth engineers to use social media to operate in your business. Have there been any other changes in attitude?
Oh,
for
absolutely. I mean, I remember the first time I was in Tell All Tuesday and we came in here and we were briefed, etc. And I said to Rob and Brendan, I said, don't ask me anything about debt because I'm going to embarrass you. I love debt. And that's the way we function. I mean, give us a credit card and we're totally out of control. Just show us a nice trip on discount and we would book it whether the money will come. We absolutely believe that. And one of the big changes in attitude that we had is that for the last, I think, 8 to 10 months, we started killing off our debt. We got rid of about a half a bar of debt already. And I tell you, it is absolutely liberating. It's the most amazing feeling when you know I'm heading in the right direction. I'm getting rid of all the stuff that's tying me down. You see, as long as you owe people money, it's not your life. You're a puppet. You're being controlled by the person or the institutions that you owe money. They will control you. They will keep you in debt. And they will try their utmost to do that. Because as long as they have you there, they know they're gonna take your money. Now, you need to respect your money. If you don't respect it, it will go to somebody that does respect the money. And guess what? That's where your money is going to go at the end of the day. So we embarked on a route where we said, we're going to change our attitude towards money. We're going to start respecting it. And absolutely love it. Looking forward to being totally debt-free. And most probably in a year's time, we're going to be there. And then the money that comes into the bank is our money. And we don't need to pay school fees. So I don't need to pay that in a year in advance. So yeah, it's absolutely awesome. That was one of the biggest changes in attitude that we had as a couple.
Awesome. Marsha, what keeps you going in this business? My husband tells me to.
For me, being a woman, I love spoiling people. So I'm a rule of honor, we're actually both the same. So if we go out to dinner, we will be the people paying the bill. That is just how we are wired. So that you know, I want to be the person spending money on my grandchildren. I want to be able to buy Woolies food, you know, not just be able to buy at Pick and Pay, for example. So those are the things that turn me on. We love traveling. But the power of how we traveled in the past, we would always travel budget. You know, booking the cheapest hotels, booking the cheapest flights. And for us, it's totally, totally different, the DuePoint mindset. Having been on 2 of the Mauritius trips, it's 5-star all the way. I remember the first year at Western, it was scallops and prawns and lobster and duck and caviar, etc. And that is the way we are being spoiled. And knowing you don't need to compete with anybody else, because in every other network or marketing, as you know, it's only the top people that go. And with DuePoint, you know, once you've reached a certain level, it's yours for the rest of your life. And that is so powerful. But for me, it's always about the people. Nothing is as powerful as knowing you're making a difference to other people's lives. Knowing the potential in people, and we look at people and they know who they are, because we will be communicating with them all the time. And leadership, sometimes people believe if you're a lead wealth engineer, you need to be on contact and phone your people every day or every week, and it's not always possible. Imagine 180 people in 160 days. That is what, or 182 people in 160 days. That is what Philip has actually done. So imagine he's got to phone every one of those. So we teach our people, they need to phone us, because for them it's one call. But for him it might be 180 calls. But for his first point, it's only one call. So that is one of the things that we communicate with them. And if they communicate with us, we know those are the people that we are working with. We've got a saying in network marketing, we've made it our own, is you step, I step. So for our people step, those are the people that we work with. Philip stepped, so we knew we had to get to Port Elizabeth to spend time with him and to invest in his future. And we will be in communication with our other lead wealth engineers. Some of them might be doing a little bit, some of them might be doing nothing, and we'll be in communication with them via our WhatsApp group. But for those people that step, those are the people that are your potential leaders. You can't afford to waste time trying to push people that do not want to be pushed. And when you sign people up, you feel a responsibility for those people, and that is okay, because you should feel a responsibility. But your job is to equip them. How do you equip them? Make sure that they know how to use the app. Make sure that they know where the training videos are. Make sure that they're part of your communication group, whether it's via WhatsApp or email, etc. And then you work with those people that deserve your attention. We were having dinner last night, spending time with Nick and Shani and Philip, and we were chatting, and you know, that something that Philip didn't mention earlier, but he did in his video, he sent out over 15,000 WhatsApps to sign up 182 people. A rule of myself, when we started in network marketing, we got up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Then we left for work at 6 o'clock to get to Anglo-American at 8 o'clock. Then we got home, we've got 4 children. So then we got home around about 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, had to feed 4 kids, and every single night we then had a presentation, leaving home, sometimes getting home at 12 o'clock at night, and we did that for 10 years. For 10 years, people might not be able to pay the price. But is it worth it? We've been all over the world. Our income in DuePoint, I showed Rulof earlier today. From December last year, we had our team was stagnant, and some days it dipped. But from December, our income has been growing. I think December, January, March, April, around about 500 to 700, 800 rand a month, every single month. And then from there, around about 1,500, so 2,000. I think the last time we were on here on Tell All Tuesday, the projected income was something like 34 or 37,000, I can't remember. I just had a look at our projected income 3 months later, 49,000. Wow. And that is so powerful. So is it worth it? You know, tenacity. It's worth it because we know where we're going to be. We don't want to look at our children to look after us one day. It's in our own hands. And what is the difference between us and between Philip and between Dani and other people, Paul and other people here? We work harder than what other people do. That's as simple as it is. If you're prepared to work hard, you cannot do it wrong enough for long enough not to succeed. So if something is not working for you, change the recipe. Talk to Rulof, talk to Dani, talk to the people, and we're not prescriptive. So if Philip comes to us, we're not using social media. So we will never say to him, it's not going to work. We will let him try, and maybe bump his head, and maybe it will not work, and then we will say to him, try this. But who knows, maybe it works because he's tweaked what did not work for us. And maybe what's not working for you, you need to come and chat to us so that we can tweak what is not working for you and use what other people have used successfully and just do it.
Awesome. Thank you for being lovely and wonderful lead wealth engineers. And just being such important stakeholders in our business. Again, wouldn't you just love a snapshot in the future? 5 years or 10 years. Just a little glimpse to see what's possible in this business. A little bit of background on our business. So stepping out of here, if you're a guest and you're deciding whether you're going to join this business, when you join this business and you step out of this office, when you step out into that world, you have to be proud of the partnership that you enter into. You must be, because you can't do this business if you're not proud of the partnership that you've entered into. Because then maybe you still have some skepticism, maybe you still have doubt. Go sort it out. Go to our website. Go look at our Constantia site. We listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange. Go look at Conduit Capital's website. Go look at our 70-year track record in this business. Know that we are publicly audited every single year. Know that we are regulated by the FSB, right? There should be no skepticism. If you want to walk forward with confidence in this business, make sure that you know everything about this business, because there must be no unanswered questions. The decision slide. I told you it was coming. Finally. The decision slide. What is the decision? I'm not asking you whether you want to join. Who thought I was going to ask them to join? I'm past that. We moved past whether you want to join or not. The question is an intentional decision. Are you going to do this business? Who are you going to tell tonight about DuePoint? How is your life going to change tomorrow to include DuePoint? How do you start building a business for yourself that you have ownership over from tomorrow? How do you make time for that? Who are you going to speak to? That is the intention that you need to make for yourself in this business. How do you get started? Register as a wealth engineer. It's going to take you 5 minutes. Speak to the person that introduced you. They will help you register as a wealth engineer. Download the app onto your phone, because that is your primary business tool. You have to have that app on your smartphone to conduct business. Go watch the training videos. Like Philip said, he watched all the videos even before he joined. If only everyone was like that. Right? Go watch the videos. You have to become an expert in the business you own. It's your business. You have to be an expert in it. It's not a 5-year degree. It's a 30-day process where you can immerse yourself in all the training that we've provided and then go out and start earning. How do you start earning? You connect 3 people successfully into this business who pay in the same month. That's when you start earning. That's when you get an SMS from your bank saying you have been credited. That's an SMS you don't see often. You have been credited. And that's when true belief sets in. When DuePoint actually pays you money. And the people that you connect into the business, when they get paid, that's when belief sets in, and that's when you find builders in your business. It's the people that start earning money. It starts with 3 people. That should become your first goal in this business. They're the social media platforms we're available on. Android and Apple devices for the app. We've got a merchandise store, 20% off business cards if you order business cards online. And for me, it has been a privilege to address you as my audience this evening. I thank you for your extended concentration. Right, an hour and a half. So you've done a very good job. And my wish for everyone that I get to address is that truly and sincerely, I hope that you get to create prosperity for yourself. Not in 2020. This year. This year, create prosperity for yourself. Why? Because you can. You can. In 1 week, you can do it in DuePoint. How many businesses can you get hold of that tell you can become profitable in a week? Does not exist, but it does here at DuePoint. And that is my invitation to you. So go out there and do it. Good luck. Thank you.